Okay, this is Aurora, and here's my day 4 video, the 4-day video challenge. We're gonna see that can be more true, more honest and open and raw, really. Even as I sit here, I can feel the actors coming on, the I need to say something a certain way, or I need to be a certain way, or sound smart, or tell you something that's remarkably brilliant and so inspirational, but it's not being real. That's not just telling the truth and being very, very honest. So, what I will say is that it's a struggle. It's a struggle to sit here and to talk about myself, to talk about who I am and what my truth is. I think not knowing for so long and not believing in my own truth for so long has really, it's put this energy of fear and this kind of like constricting block in expressing that truth. And to be perfectly honest, I'm in a major transition mode. I'm starting to gain some control and discipline of my mind, myself, and my thoughts. Something that I haven't been doing for quite a long time. Been procrastinating and avoiding and running, like I've mentioned before. And it takes a lot of work to kind of weave yourself out of the web of pretending, to reestablish yourself as who you are, to learn who your soul is, to open up to your soul and your heart, and be able to have the confidence and the belief in yourself to back that up and to take that initiative and to carry on and make it into something that's positive and going to bring up incredible change. So I'm not going to say that if you meditate a certain way, or if you read a certain book, that you're going to find the same thing that I'll find. I think that's the beauty of us all having a different truth, is that whatever's out there, whoever's out there teaching it, it's relative only to you. It's relative only to how much you take it in and how you perceive it. How your own psychology takes in the information and processes it, and conclusions, the patterns, the habits, the structure that you form out of it. I spent a little over a year living in a spiritual community, and it was a beautiful community. They have hundreds of acres of land. It's up in British Columbia, and I loved it. I felt so enlightened, and I was trying so hard to get into the regime of their beliefs, to listen to their master talk, to say the prayers and do the meditations and the exercises and the dances, and really truly believe that this master was my teacher and my even God. I want to say that a lot of them believe that that was their God, and to them, yeah, that's their God. But for me at the time, I got really depressed and really just very on edge for the last duration of the time that I lived there, because all of this guilt came up in me. All of this, oh, I don't really believe exactly what you believe, and I can't. And I felt bad, and I felt like there was something wrong with me, and I was guilty for living there. I was guilty if I didn't go to temple. I was guilty for parking my, for doing something that was kind of not along the dogma or not along the rules of their specific master. And that guilt just wore over me. It tore me up, and I wound up leaving there. But I still have that dream of living in a community, of living with other people, and growing your own food, and having animals, and workshops, and then a kids camp, doing all of that stuff. But there's only so many people. There's only so many types of people that are going to fall into a specific teaching and just feel like that's it. That's the one, and that's where I am. And when you're another person, it's like kind of being like in a soul family, and then you're this person that you come in and you're trying to make your way and move into the family and get really warm and friendly, but there's also all of these other parts of yourself that you feel, that I felt was almost suffocating, because I didn't believe the same thing. And I'm not sure if I know the answer of how to change that. I could say maybe I needed at that point to work on my guilt more, to work on accepting that it was okay, and being like comfortable with not believing exactly what they believed, but still remaining part of the community instead of feeling separate. Or I could go off and say that I hope and I have huge dreams that we're all going to maybe step back a bit from our dogmas, or our this is how it is and there's no other way sort of beliefs that are so limiting. And no, not get rid of them, no, not sacrifice or change your belief, but just keep that open and malleable space for relating to other people on an even deeper level. On a level, I think that although you find your soul and you find yourself in those kinds of teachings, there's another level that brings you even further. So I imagine that we're all going to, through the process of our shift, through the process of our moving into our heart, or moving into our soul, moving closer to that universal united truth, that we're all one and we're all connected, and there's nothing bigger or smaller or less or more or bad or good really in the world, that it's all part of one whole, that that's where we're going to go, and that's where communities are going to grow and expand and connect and reestablish themselves. I want to say in a new paradigm sort of way. Just I look back and I think about it, and I see, I see that I learned a lot from that guilt. Guilt, it's definitely a huge teacher, and I miss that place. I think about it, and I think about going back. I had lots of good connections. They're so wonderful and so full of light. They're just beautiful people, and I felt beautiful there. I changed. I transformed so much while I was living there. And I see how with myself I could have had more understanding, could have forgiven those fears of not being accepted for being different, because what they were really just fears. I mean, there may have been minor justifications for little mundane details or doings, but I don't have to go back. I can reflect on it and learn from it now. I don't think that they need to change, really. So I guess what that does, and what I want, and what I believe in, kind of, for me, inwardly conflicting with what they believed in and what they wanted and their purpose and where they were going. It's a lesson. It's a lesson of self-actualization. It's a lesson of bringing a deeper awareness of self and bringing inward growth, regardless to the outward circumstances, which were welcoming and open. And I think right now, it's really important to tune in. It's really important to tune in and listen to yourself, and listen to your body, and listen to the things that are going on. Pay attention. Just be aware. And become more and more open, become more and more understanding, and have patience. Have patience with yourself. I'll have patience. I need to have patience with myself.